I'm looking at all these responses, and there's one in here that my friend Lisa Duncan, who was in the crowd, calls us white bread Google boy mentality. I'm looking at, that's pretty hateful, Lisa, especially for a school teacher. I'm looking at Jose Soto says, seek hell, seek hell, seek hell, seek hell. I'm looking at a gentleman named Jimmy Halmeri, who was down in the group that you called off from the Hollywood boys, that says a bitch slap somebody. You call Jimmy up and tell him, come on up. I'm ready for him to try to bitch slap me. I'm looking at some things from Mr. Reeves, and Mr. Reeves is fairly well written. Tries to keep within the bounds of nice language, but I've seen some back and forth between him and Mr. Shelton that went outside the bounds of being within. Looking at stuff from Mr. Bob Mendez that gets hateful about to Jessica that didn't like her opinion. So you see, the other ones that I was going to bring up, there's one that just, it's on my personal phone. So it's about the hatred of God. God of hate and destruction has no place in my life. It is a lose-lose situation. God screws up and blames his creation. Not interested in worshiping a God that does nothing to let people down. Kill them for no reason as hell blames because he says so. Screw that. And it goes on with hate-filled stuff. I have read your own group that just started, that Barry and my two friends here started. It's full of hate to Christians because you can't wrap your arms around our beliefs compared to yours. I have a new saying that I've called that my good friend Buck out here asked me, what the heck do you mean by that? It's called the tolerance of intolerance, and you all fit the mold. You don't want to be part of the community. You want to be preferred part of the community. Yeah, I don't know why it's so important to you. I cannot possibly go down the streets of Porterville and pick anybody out and tell you they're homosexual or they're not, unless you make a big scene of it to me. Come on, folks. We can do better than this. This isn't about a proclamation. This is about you guys disagreeing with us on Prop 8. And your writings that I've seen prove that completely out. This is a spoof here. This is just a show. I'm finished for now. Oh, other than, this also was put on our agenda at the very latest date possible, but it was put on events on Facebook a week and a half before, including by club members that my mayor knows. That makes me very suspicious. That's the last.
Now, I got a couple points. You know, I guess what bothered me, something to Mr. Boone, is it Mr. Boone? Jay. I like what he had to say because, you know, we had some extremists come here and say some horrible things. And like I said earlier on, I got blamed for allowing these people to say these things. And as I've said, I'm a big believer in First Amendment rights, and I'm not going to...
You wouldn't have got any credit for shutting them down either.
No. Cam probably went up there and he said what needed to be said. I don't know that I would have done it because, again, I would be reluctant because I wouldn't want someone to stop you from expounding your views. But we had this little dog and pony show where we brought the extremists, or some of the extremists came out and they said some horrific things, and then all of a sudden every Christian in the world is a homophobic, hate-filled, backwoods, you know, redneck hillbilly. And you know, and I take umbrage to that. You know, these are, you know, I've heard speech bearers say, well, you've got to represent all your constituents, and I do. I represent you, but I also represent these what you've termed hate-filled, backwoods, you know, people. And they're, you know, and you know, they're not that. All the emails I've got have said, listen, you know what? I don't have anything against this. I think this is a colossal waste of time. Why are you doing this, Greg? And you know what? The problem is, as much as you may not like it, they have as much of a voice as you have. You say you want to be treated equally, they want to be treated equally too. I mean, since when does their rights or, you know, their desires take second class to yours? You talk about all the abuse you've gone through. Hey man, I got long hair. I've been called gay. You know, I've been bullied. I've had a lot of adversity in my life. I get by. I move on. I had a lot of adversity the last couple of weeks. You know? But, you know, so I think that, you know, everybody needs to step back and check themselves. You know, this sounds like affirmative action. It's like, well, you know, we've had some rough times in the past, so therefore, we're going to make up for it because you're going to give us special notice here. I don't believe in affirmative action. I think that that's the sins of my father. It's not me. Mr. Reeves, I'm glad to hear that you have a change of heart, and maybe that you agree because a lot of these same points, you disagree with me on the blogs, but I appreciate the fact that you think maybe we should review the process. I appreciate the fact that you do acknowledge that Mr. Ward's proclamation is a good proclamation. I'm hoping that you just came to the religion lately because you accused me of trying to water it down. I think you call us a lesser town, a town of lesser people, of less enlightened, and that I was just being manipulated by the radical religious right or whatever that
I don't
is.
believe I ever said that.
Well, okay, I'll check the verbiage. But the point is and I have no ill will. You seem like a very intelligent man. For the most part, your blogs are not too brutal until you get frustrated. But anyway, so I just want to say that you know, man, come on, guys, lighten up on my Christian friends, and you know they'll lighten up on you.
I got one more observation that I saw tonight. The gentleman came up here to speak in favor of you, and he's wearing a shirt that says homophobia and insecurity about being heterosexual. God darn, that shirt makes me want to hug the boy.
Anything else?
You guys could have known it.
Anything else?
I don't think I can add to what they said. I do want to point out that we have the Freedom Fest, which is coming up July or June 29th. Community event, been well supported. It's a fantastic event. I know Donnie, I saw the poster, it looks fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that. Buy your tickets in advance, you now can get the coupons online, and
I could make some for you.
Great.
I actually was going to bring that up too.
Purchase them, they can get the tickets online.
yeah, if you buy the ticket at the door, at the entrance, if you will, it costs you double than if you buy it in advance. But instead of just buying it in advance, you can also buy the ticket or download the coupon online on the website. You can print it off, and then you can present that when you get there, and you get the discount ahead of time. So, or you get the discount right there. So we've made it to where people that don't have, you know, that are extremely busy raising kids, don't live near the Heritage Center, whatnot, can still get the access to the discount if they do it ahead of time.
AKA computer nerds. I would actually, I forgot to mention that, but you're right, and sponsored, a generous sponsor from the tribe,
Yep.
they stepped up and gave us 10,000, 7,500. Yeah, and also, I also want to remind you, there's a big rodeo up there this weekend at the reservation. It's a sanctioned rodeo, first one they've had in, what, 30 years, 35 years, a lot of prizes. It's going to be a great rodeo, so I hope you guys can go there.
Wave is there.
Just one more thing. I would like to thank everyone for coming out. I know it's been a long evening. I think, except for Mr. Abel, I think everyone conducted themselves in a very, the right way, very honorable way. Yeah, I mean, so I appreciate it. I do agree that it's a significant improvement from the previous meeting, and I think this is the way that this agreement should be handled in a civil
Vice Mayor. Vice Mayor.
Well, this is probably not going to mean anybody because those people have already left, but in the early 70s, I lived at 7512 Fountain Avenue.
1870.
Go ahead.
West Hollywood, so I'm familiar with the persons that were speaking earlier today. I moved to a more regressive place in Porterville called Kansas City, Missouri. But now I'm in Porterville. And I do, like Councilman Ward, I do want to commend everyone for the gracious way that the majority of you behaved this evening, especially in following the mayor's directions. And I'm glad you turned out. Unfortunately, probably, well, you might be here on July 16th, but I probably wouldn't expect this crowd to stay for the next 6 months every meeting night, but it would be nice.
We can sequester.
I'm going to make this short, but I also want everyone to understand that the Christian community is a part of this community, and in no way do I feel that they have hate. I truly do not believe that. I feel that at the last session, and I have always felt this as an elected official, you have the right to come to this podium during oral communication and say whatever you want. Now, I did stop one of the individuals because I thought he went too far. But I never, ever responded to anyone because I feel that they have a right to come into this room. They elected us.